All right, so good morning. Yesterday's show was a debacle, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway if you watched it. Today we're going to try again, see if we can make it all the way to work. I don't know. Happy Friday, and enjoy. All right, good morning, everybody. Let's go to work. So today I decided that basically give you the lowdown on the vehicle you're in. This is my truck. It's a 2014 Chevy Silverado Crew Cab 1500. One thing you got to know about me is I'm a big car guy. I like cars. Any kind of car. As long as it's not a Ford. Just kidding. Well, no, not really. I don't like Fords at all. I would never own one. But yeah, my Silverado, I bought it new in 14, and you know, I've done some modifications to it. I put a leveling kit on it, 3 inches up in the front, 2 inches up in the back, so it's got a mild lift to it. I'm sure you could hear the sound of the engine. That's deliberate. Chevy has a tendency to muffle their glorious engines, and I don't understand why, because something that awesome needs to be heard, as far as I'm concerned, by everybody in the neighborhood. So what I did was I cut the muffler and the resonator off. So basically my exhaust goes right before the axle in the back, and it just kind of dumps out. So it only has the catalytic converter, and then I put a little cherry bomb muffler on there just to give it a little bit of a throatier sound and to muffle it a little bit, because you do want a little bit of back pressure. You know, helps the performance of the engine, I guess. After I lifted it, I put a little bit larger tires on it, stock rims, which I like the look of the stock rims. Oh, look at this guy coming out of Dunkin' Donuts. Thanks a lot, lady. Appreciate it. I'll go around you. So the tires that are on it are, like I said, a little bigger. They're just under 33s, and it gives the truck a nice little stance. Since I did the lift, I screwed up the angle of the upper control arms, so I had to replace them recently. So since I had to replace them, I upgraded those too. So I changed the upper control arms, put some rough country upper control arms on it with greasable bearings, and the upgraded ones, I guess they compensate for a steeper angle since I lifted it, so it kind of messes that angle up. So you need a set of upper control arms that takes care of that. So anyway, what else? Oh, I upgraded the air filter. It's a K&N, and I also put in a Super Chips power programmer, which was actually like getting a whole new truck after I did it. Once I put the bigger tires on it, not many people, people that do this stuff know, but not everybody knows that when you put bigger tires on a truck, it messes up everything. It messes up the calibration. The speedometer is no longer correct. Transmission shift points change. It screws up because the truck still thinks it has the smaller tires on it. So the power programmer takes care of that, and it adds horsepower. It makes the computer work more efficiently. I can compensate. I can put the actual size of the tires in there, and it'll fix the speedometer, and it'll just make the truck run better. And I'm telling you, that power programmer, like I said, was like night and day. One day I had one truck, and the next day I had a completely different truck the way it performed. You know, it's a 5.3 liter V8. It's the smaller of the V8s. I would have loved to got the 6.4 liter, but, you know, or 6.2. I can't remember which one. I would have loved to got the bigger one, but it wasn't in the cards, and I'm happy with this. It's still a Chevy V8, and it sounds fantastic. So, yeah, I mean, I just love this truck. I absolutely love it. Actually had the dealer called me where I bought this thing a few weeks ago, and asked me if I wanted to sell it, and I was like, absolutely not. I love this truck. I love the way it looks. I love the way it drives. I love the way it sounds, and you know, I just love this truck. And you know, my love for Chevys runs real deep. Growing up, my dad had a 72, I think a 72. My brother will correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I believe a 72 Chevy pickup truck, where it had the shifting on the column. I never got to drive that truck. I did sit in my dad's lap once and kind of drive the truck, but you know how that goes when you're a little kid. So that's where Chevy started, and I always wanted a Chevy truck. When I was in my teens, after I graduated high school, my parents helped me buy my first car, and my first car was a 93 Camaro. And it's funny because when we went looking for cars, you know, I always liked Chevys, but I just wanted a car. I was a teenager. And the first car we looked at was a Mustang. And so I came really close to being a Ford fan, and I'm glad that didn't happen. The salesman was a bit of a prick. My dad didn't like him, so we didn't buy the Mustang. And then we went to the Chevy dealership and found the Camaro. So, and then the wheels were set in motion for me to, you know, really love Chevy for the rest of my life. After my Camaro, I did a lot of work on that Camaro. I used to drag race it on Friday nights in Bradenton at the DeSoto International Speedway. That was a lot of fun. And then the Camaro started breaking down a lot. So I actually, after that Camaro, I traded it in, which surprises me to this day. I traded it in for a 2000 Dodge Ram pickup, which, at least it's not a Ford. The Dodge Ram was a great truck, but then me and the wife started having kids, and a regular cab pickup truck doesn't work very well when you start having kids. You need to put car seats in it. So fast forward a little bit, we start having kids, and then it happened. I ended up having to buy a minivan, a 2005 Nissan Quest, because I needed to have 3 car seats in the car at the same time. And that there, I don't think UPS could figure that out. That's a logistical nightmare. 3 car seats at once is a big pain in the ass. So the best car for the job was the minivan. And the day I bought that minivan was the day that I handed in my man card. But I gotta give it to my wife. She told me while we were sitting on the sales floor at the Nissan dealership buying this minivan, that she said, look, by the time you're 40, I promise that you will have the vehicle you want. Well, my wife is nothing but true to her word, and to be honest with you, she hit me with it a year early. On my 39th birthday is when I bought this truck. And it's a crew cab, so it's got enough room for everybody in it. Thank God I don't need car seats anymore, because the 3 boys could sit in the back perfectly. We actually took this truck, drove it to Florida and back with the 3 kids in the back, and, you know, it was okay. It wasn't the best ride, but I wasn't sitting in the back. I was driving. Who cares? So yeah, I mean, that's my story about my cars and my truck. And guys, I did it. I made it all the way to work today, and talking the whole time. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Subscribe, please. Give me some comments. Let me know things you want to talk about, and I appreciate it. It's Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend, everybody.